Hello everybody, you're at an interesting angle. How do you feel about that? We got to get some coolness going on here. Hi everybody, hi. We are headed to El Storo, imagine that, always the store. And well here I'll show you. I had to bring this with me, but so we get HelloFresh occasionally. We haven't had it in probably six to 8 months or so. And it's a meal delivery thing. They give you all the components, you put it together. We've been using it for 10 years maybe. So we just wanted to try it again just because it's kind of fun, because they give you different ideas. And we just made this one, the pecan crusted chicken. Look at the picture of that. And Marcus said it was probably one of his favorite HelloFresh meals that we've ever had. And we have definitely reused many of their recipes because we love them so much. And I love that they give you this and so you can recreate it. So we want it so much, we're going to the store because we need to get some more. Well, not some more, but we need to get some things. And I'm going to take you to Harvest Market with me because it's just a fun store. I enjoy it. But I also think I want to stop and get a coffee. I didn't have one today. We'll see. Here's the thing. We have a story to tell. So let me see if I can raise this thing up so you can see me better. Hold please. Now I'm more lifted up. Isn't that lovely? Okay. We have some things to chat about, but I thought maybe we could, you know those baby hairs here that just never stop being baby hairs? They're just like, for all of eternity, they're gonna be baby hairs. So we had church this morning. Kids had a good time. Nola's getting so brave in her class. She's been telling me, you can go sing now, even if I don't have to sing like today. Let's go to Harvest Market, find some things. Maybe we'll even find some other treasures that are kind of fun. And then we'll make dinner together. Won't that be lovely? And then what else are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna chit chat because I got stuff to tell you, because that's just, story of my life. So I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go. We'll chat. Hold tight. Nitro cold brew. They add nitro. I don't know what they do, but it's nice. It's just I don't know what it is. Somebody told me about it a long time ago, and every now I get one. It's like a black coffee, cold, no ice. And it's got this stuff going on in there that just is fun. It's just fun, it's just good. Okay, let's seriously go now. We're gonna go to the store. Come on. I love Harvest Market because you can get all of these different seeds and nuts and grains and flowers and candies and treaty McPetersons. I need some pecan halves, but I don't want to buy a big old thing of it, so I just got a little bit. And then I'm going to crush them up. That's going to go with the panko crusting for the pecan crusted chicken. I feel like a ding-dong bringing this thing inside with me, but I need the ingredients and I didn't want to write it down. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. They have a bunch of fresh squeezed stuff here, like strawberry cherry lemonade and fresh squeezed orange juice. They typically, they don't have it, but behind me there's a machine and you can squeeze your own orange juice. Kind of cool. So it looks like now they're doing it for you. I don't know, but lots of fresh squeezed stuff. This stuff is really good. That's going to be our little side salad. On here it was a mixed greens, but we're going to go with some arugula. It's really nice, kind of peppery, kind of good. $5.50 on that one. Ugh, but it's good. So I don't know what this is. Maybe it's bamboo. Do you buy bamboo like that? Maybe. But then over here they've got some cool stuff. Rambutan, cacao pods, passion fruit, quincy. Is that how we say that? The cacao pods. Man, I've never had that before. Mangoes, red cactus pears. This quincy thing too. I haven't had that. Or the rambutan. They do look fun though. Got ourselves a little lemon too. That's going to be squeezed over that salad. I already have the apple at home. All right, now we're going to go to pantry stuff. I think just the Dijon mustard and the panko breadcrumbs. Panko, that's going to go make it crunchy and yummy. Little Dijon mustard. This is the store brand one, $1.69. Now this says coarse ground and that one says made with white wine. Let's get crazy and do coarse ground. Actually, I decided not to be crazy and I went with the one made with white wine. You guys, they have quail eggs here. Does your store sell quail eggs or cornmeal mush? Wow. I don't know what those are. But then look at this. The organic pasture raised eggs, $11.39 for a dozen. I think I'm gonna stick with my Sam's Club tomorrow and get some, because I was thinking, oh, you know, I've only got a couple, maybe I'll look here. That's a no. We'll get some light up in the house while we wait for the chicken to continue to defrost, and it's not even close to dinner time. Well, if you ask Marky, it's probably closer than we think. 2:15 in the afternoon. He likes to eat dinner super, super early on the weekends. Whoops. And I like to eat dinner early, but not as early as he does on the weekends. There's something about the weekends that it could be like 3 o'clock. He's like, you think you're ready to start making dinner? I'm like, oh my gosh, I just had a snack. Like, no. We've been chit-chatting on here from time to time, and I really enjoy doing that. It's very therapeutic. It's very, I like connecting to you guys because I think we seem to have some things that are similar. Like maybe we've gone through similar feelings or struggles or thoughts or whatevers. And so it's kind of nice to have somebody like you feel like you get me, you understand what I'm going through. And a couple things that I was thinking about that I mentioned before that I had felt, especially in my younger years, up until maybe, I don't know, 4 years ago or so, maybe 5 years, a lot of spiritual guilt. And you were asking, like, you know, I'd love to hear more about that. And I'm not going to get into all that in this video, but one of the things that really gave me a lot of spiritual guilt was actually reading books. And it wasn't something that somebody made me feel. It wasn't like, oh, my leadership at my church or something made me feel this way. It was just, you know how you get like those subliminal messages, or you get this one message and you interpret it another way, and it sort of becomes a part of your thinking, a part of your, you know, your reasoning and all of that. And growing up, when I decided that I was going to like do the whole follow Jesus thing, I just, I felt a lot of guilt about anything that wouldn't, like music or TV shows that weren't Christian, really. They really bothered me, and I felt a lot of guilt watching them, or reading books like that. You know, fiction books for some reason were just like such a big no-no in my book. So if it was a leadership book, if it was like a training book, something spiritual to grow in, I was all for it. And I just didn't really have a lot of those in my life, so I wasn't really reading a whole lot. And recently, probably in the last year or so, I've been just reading more and more and more, and I've been enjoying books and kind of finding like my thing. And so one of the areas that I have felt very more freedom than I have before is to be able to rest and enjoy a book and like get lost in this other little world. And it's been delightfully delicious. A couple of books I've had to set to the side because I went, you know, I'm all about being free, but that's just a little too much in my book. And so I started reading them and I thought, no, I don't think we're going in the right direction here. Just some of them were a little too spicy. And it started out fine. I got to like the middle of one of the books and I was like, this is no. And then another one, I think I got through just the first, not even the first chapter. And I thought, I can already tell this is not going to be it for me. So a couple books that I have read recently, I've been reading like really fast. It used to be like one book a year. I think I've read 6 books this month, 5 books this month. That to me is what? Okay, the first one was The Bookshop of Second Chances. There is some interesting things in here, maybe some interesting words, some somewhat spicy, somewhat interesting things, but not like deeply spicy, if you know what I'm saying. Like if we're talking how many peppers big, maybe it's like a 1.5 pepper big, if I remember right. So this girl, her uncle, now it's been a while since I've read this one, so I've got to kind of think, but I think her uncle leaves his home to her, or her father, or I don't know. And her husband is leaving her, and she goes to Scotland, I believe. Now, it sounds like I haven't read the book, but I really have. And she goes to Scotland, and he has all of these books, and some of them are just worth lots of money, and they're very old, and they're just amazing. And she meets the guy that runs the bookshop, hence The Bookshop of Second Chances. And they get together and everybody sees him as kind of this crotchety old cranky guy, and she really starts to fall for him, and he turns out to be really, really great. and she loves books and he loves books, and it's a happily ever after, you know? It's one of those. I just loaned the other one that I really loved, you guys. Oh my word, this book I loved so much was called One True Loves. One True Loves. I'll link these down below because I'm sure it'll be easier that way. But One True Loves, she's married, okay? She knows these two guys from high school. One of them she never dated. The other one, she like, ooh, I love you. And they get married, right? And it's great. And they travel the world. She gets out of her small town and they're living in LA and it's great.
What are we having for lunch?
For dinner, ooh, we're gonna have pecan crusted chicken.
Is that all there is?
And we're gonna have salad.
And else?
I don't know. What do you want?
Noodles.
Noodles, of course you do. Okay, I'll make noodles too. I love you. I've taught them well. So One True Loves, she gets married to this guy and he's a photographer and she is a writer. So he goes off on this trip to photograph this thing and the helicopter that he was in goes down and they find everybody's body but his. Everybody has died. Years and years go by. I mean, she's just like totally heartbroken. Everything's falling apart. She moves back home to her small little town. Her parents have a bookshop. It's another bookshop story, which, you know, is beside the point. And she had always wanted to get away. And now she's going back to this place. And after years, she meets this guy that was actually in love with her in high school, but they never dated. And they get to know each other again and they get engaged. And then the husband, he makes his way back. He was like stuck on an island for 3.5 years and he comes back. And now she has to decide who is she going to get back with? Her husband, who she thought was dead, or her fiance. And it's such a beautiful story because the whole time you're rooting for everybody. You don't hate anybody. You love everybody. And you're just like, you guys are so great. And you just don't even know who she's going to pick. Like it just, and then you get to the end and it's just beautiful. So that's the other one that I've been reading. The Lying Woods, Ashley Elson wrote another book that I thought was delicious. What was it? I think it was, hold on, I gotta find it. It was something about something. I don't know. But it was a quick read. It was lovely. This book, this is one of those. It's not, it's like, is it a thriller? I don't know. Owen Foster has never wanted for anything. Then his mother shows up at his elite New Orleans boarding school, cradling a bombshell. His privileged life has been funded by stolen money. After using the family business, the single largest employer in his small Louisiana town, to embezzle millions, drain the employees' retirement accounts, Owen's father vanished without a trace, leaving Owen and his mother to deal with the fallout. And the whole time you're thinking one thing about who's who and what's what. And I don't want to give this away, but let me tell you what, if you love a book that kind of makes you wonder, keeps you on your toes, it's not scary or anything like that, nothing like that, but it's just satisfying and you get to the end and you're like, what? You just, mind blown, okay? Love this one so much. I would recommend this one, The Lying Woods. I can't remember, I don't think there's really anything spicy. If there's language in here, it might be just a little dot here and there. I can't quite remember. This is a good one, you guys. Okay, this one, oh my gosh. This one has been made into a Netflix original series. I haven't watched it. If you want a book that is going to blow your mind, this is the one. This book, until the very end, you're like, never saw that coming. Same with The Lying Woods, but it wasn't as intense. I'm serious. I woke up in the night thinking about this book. I woke up in the morning thinking about the book when I got to the end, and I was just like, excuse me? Never did I ever. It's an eerie thriller, keeps you guessing. It says this is a terrifying mind game. I don't know that it was terrifying, but it is kind of like, what? So here's the thing. Louise, a single mom and secretary, is deeply embarrassed when she discovers that the man who sweet-talked and kissed her in the bar on the rare night out is her new boss, David. And Adele, new to town and lonely, who invited Louise for coffee after they bumped into each other on the street. Adele is David's wife. Okay? So she finds out that the guy she kissed and met at the bar, he had had too much to drink. Okay? He was married, is married. Finds out the next day, oh, that's her new boss, because she wasn't there when they came in and gave the tour. And then she goes to do something and meets the wife. And she's like, oh my gosh, I mean, I can't, what am I going to do? I'm making this new friend, and then I've kissed my boss, and then they have relations, if you know what I'm saying. So there's the spiciness, but they don't give a lot of like spicy detail. And it, you know, this person said it was the strongest, most unsettling thriller of the year. When you get to the end, all I can say is if you love a thriller, not scary, because when I think of thriller, I kind of think like, oh, it's scary. No, this isn't scary. I need you to read this because I want to talk about it. I told Marcus, I was like, I need you to read this book. I really need you. He said, just tell me what happened. So I tried to tell him, and he's like, I can't. I said, if you read the book, you'll get it. So then I told him, maybe just watch the movie or the documental, the original series, and you'll know. Number one in my book. I would read this book. All of these I would read over again. They were just delicious. And then The One True Loves as well. Now, here's the one that I've been working on. Marcus finished it. Actually, you want to know what else I've been reading? Yummy Yucky, Goodnight Moon, The Runaway Bunny, and Head, Shoulders, Knees, and Toes. Fan favorites around this part, but this one's not for the children at all. Okay, this is the one. Marcus picked this one out, and he's already read it. I am, partway through it. This is The Last Murder at the End of the World. So this thing happens, and there's only so many people left on this island, and they can't get off of it. This is an inventive, high-concept murder mystery. It's an ingenious puzzle, an extraordinary backdrop, and an audacious solution. I haven't gotten there yet, but it's like a post-apocalyptic, which I don't usually like that kind of stuff, but it's not like the weird post-apocalyptic stuff, murder mystery. And supposedly it's mind-blowing. Outside the island, there is nothing. The world was destroyed by a fog that swept the planet, killing anyone it touched. On the island, it is idyllic. 122 villagers and 3 scientists living in peaceful harmony. The villagers are content to fish, farm, feast, to obey their nightly curfew, to do what they're told by scientists until, to the horror of the islanders, one of their beloved scientists is found brutally stabbed to death. Oh, doesn't that sound disgusting? They don't get too graphic. And then they learned that the murder has triggered a lowering of the security system around the island. And the only thing that was keeping the fog at bay was the system, okay? If the murder isn't solved within 107 hours, the fog will smother the island and everyone on it. But the security system has also wiped out everyone's memories of exactly what happened the night before, which means that someone on the island is a murderer and they don't even know it. It's like there's, in their minds, I think I can tell you this part, in their minds, there's this security system that helps them and knows what everybody is thinking in their minds. And they talk to this thing. And so that's one of the characters here that's going to talk too. And it'll say, they'll say, can you tell her that I'm sorry or whatever? Or why is she acting that way? And it will tell some of the information, but not all the information. But it's like having a conversation inside your brain. It's like your brain. It's like your conscience. It's very interesting and I like it. It makes my brain think, but in a good, happy way. Like not too thinky where you just fall asleep because your brain's tired. And then maybe I just have a few more books here. I haven't read these, but I am planning on it. So I don't know what we'll think. Abby Jimenez, yours truly, Lucy Foley, the guest list. That's another one that's probably like a little bit of a mind thing. Fangirl, Better Than the Movies, Love Theoretically, which from what I've heard, this is like somewhat of a girl with autism, maybe. Real Tigers, we'll see about that one. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and then Good Fortune. The Good Fortune one, very intriguing. I actually am looking forward to reading that one. So this one is like Pride and Prejudice fans will delight in the nuanced characters, frantic social climbing, and stealth feminism inspired by Austen classic. But the steamy romance, uh-oh, I didn't take that part into consideration. I don't really do for the steamy, but I can skip it. Witty cultural takedowns and street smart humor in this contemporary update are fresh, timely, and entirely chows. So it's very snappy. I don't know. It's a surprising new tale from a classic love story. I'm looking forward to it. What are you guys reading? What are you loving? Behind Her Eyes, you guys. What? Also, The Lying Woods. What? Did not see any of those coming. Wow. What are you reading? What are you enjoying? I am absolutely loving the freedom to read fiction. I'm learning my boundaries, and I'm learning my likes and my dislikes. I really like thrillers. I really like kind of romancy, but not, I don't want it to be overly whatever. I was reading one book and it was just it was too spicy, and that's just not my flavor. And I can't even remember what it was called. I have some other books that I've read this year. I'll have to find them and see if I can share them with you sometime, but I'll put these down in the description box if you're interested. But it's nice to find kind of the freedom because it's such an enjoyable thing. Like when I was reading Behind Her Eyes, I couldn't wait. I was like, oh my gosh, when is bedtime? I just really can't wait. When the kids were like, can you sit in our room? Yeah. Tonight I'm sitting in your room because I just want to sit up and read this. And it was, I couldn't fall asleep. If you're somebody that falls asleep really easily with reading, may I just put it out there that perhaps you just haven't found the book that's doing it for you. Oh, there was this one book I read the beginning of the year. I'm going to have to find it. It's called The Good Part. I might even want to read it again. I love, how you've got like Freaky Friday, where you live this other life and you kind of have these revelations of what it could be or what you did have, and you appreciate it more. The Good Part kind of does that. And she goes from this one life and kind of like skips ahead. And it's really great, but she's still her old self. And so she's got to kind of acclimate to this new self, this new life. Loved that book so much. So much. Probably has a little spice to it. So either skip it or don't. Anyway, that's what's happening in my world. I've really been enjoying these books. Anybody? Are you loving books right now? Are you reading a lot? What are you doing? What are you reading? I need you. Everywhere I go, I'm like, we got to look at the books. Marcus and I are both at Barnes & Noble quite a bit. Now, the prices there aren't great. So sometimes when we're at Barnes and we find some books, I've been ordering it on Amazon because I got some Amazon gift cards. I got an Amazon gift card for my birthday. I think I got like 3 books with it. It was so great. And then I just recently got The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and what was the other book I just got? Oh, Good Fortune. I got that one on Amazon too because it was like $30-something at Barnes & Noble and $9.99 for the hardcover on Amazon. So I've been loving books, guys. Just been loving it. I think we ought to do some cooking eventually. It's not time yet. 2:34? No, it's not time yet. It's not time yet. Anyway, maybe I'm going to read for a little bit. Won't that be fun? Yes, I've got to get through The Last Murder at the End of the World. It's going to be a good one. Okay, chicken time. I'm going to do 450 in the oven. I really like making chicken in the oven. It comes out nicely. I'm going to leave my chickens. Where are they? Chicken. I'm going to leave my chickens big. A lot of times I slice them, but I have noticed that they're not quite as dried out, because if they're like super thick, then I'd slice them, but these are just perfection. So 450 for like closer to 20 minutes since I'm not slicing them. But if you like a little more flavy flav and you want to get more out of it, maybe you slice them and you put them in the oven for a little bit less time, Then let's see, where's all of our stuffs? Let's smash up these guys and get them nice and crumbly. I'll show you the very high-tech technique that I use. You're gonna love it. If you have any aggression inside here, you just let it out with your rolling pin. This next part is kind of what holds it together. So if you look in the picture under the panko, we're gonna put this little sauce that we're gonna make, but you can also use it for a drizzle on the top, which was very yummy. So 2 teaspoons of honey. I'm not measuring out very beautifully. I think that'll work though. And then you can put in some Dijon mustard. 2 teaspoons of that. That feels exact, doesn't it? And then 2 tablespoons of mayo. And we're gonna just mix that up together. You know, I don't know about you, but to me it's kind of like, ugh, does that even look good? But it really does make it taste so yum dilly yum. Now to make our panko seasoning, I've melted a tablespoon of butter. We have our pecans. We're gonna measure out our panko. It's a 1/4 cup for at least what I'm making, but you can always get more. And then this is fry seasoning. HelloFresh uses fry seasoning quite a bit, but what it is equal parts garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika. And I think it's a good thing to have around. So we're just gonna do 1/2 teaspoon of that one, but it's hard to do that one-handed, so hold please. Okay, mix it all together. I'm gonna also drizzle a little bit of olive oil in there, and then I'll salt and pepper this guy, but I'll also salt and pepper up the chicken. It's really important that we season that up really well. I oiled up the pan a little bit. I also like to use parchment. It just helps for a nice cleanup. Salt and peppered both sides. After I put a little oil down, I'm going to sprinkle it now with that fry seasoning. We're gonna use a little bit more on there, and then I'll flip it and we'll do it on the other side. And then you only have to put the topping and that sauce on the top because the bottom, well, she just ain't gonna work out, right? Definitely make sure that when you're putting the dressing or whatever this is, this stuff on the top, that you don't touch the chicken with the spoon and then put it back into your bowl. If you're going to be using the sauce later for like dipping, that would be bad. So once you know you've got enough, then you spread her on there. And then don't put the spoon back in there because that would be no bueno. We'll get a new spoon for later. We'll just put our breading on there and press it in, make sure it sticks. Those are Tootsie Pops.
Can I eat one because I'm this?
Sure.
Yay.
Now we're gonna stick that in the oven. Because these are a little bit bigger, I'm probably gonna go more toward the 20-minute, but if you had them sliced, maybe just 15 minutes would have been fine. And then we'll make a little salad at the end. And guys, this is dinner. I love it. So easy and full of flavor. Perfection. By the way, when you sign up for HelloFresh, they give you the option of sharing free boxes with people. So if you do want to try it, you can. It's totally free to you. I think you get maybe 3 meals, something like that for a couple people. I like free food. So if you're interested, I'll put the link below. There's no pressure, but it's kind of fun just to try different meals, things that you might not have ever considered. And I know that we've kept several things. Chicken recipes seem to be the ones that we fall in love with the most. I've made their chicken pesto or pesto chicken, whatever you want to call it. You have it with potatoes, and is it with green beans? I don't know, but they come out with several different options if you want to try it. I would suggest it. I've been liking them for a long time. It looks a little dark around the edges, but don't let that fool you. It's going to be divine. Chicken is done. Now we're gonna arugula it up, or any kind of greens that your heart desires. This is Fuji apple vinaigrette, but we're actually going to add salt, pepper, and lemon to this. And you can also do something else. Add some apples to it. But we're just gonna do salt, pepper, lemon. Is that what it was on this one too? Yeah. Oh, a little drizzle of olive oil. If you just want something kind of light and yummy and not a lot of crazy, that's the way to do it. But then you can put the remaining honey mustard sauce that we made, maybe drizzle that on there or put it on the chicken. Okay, squeeze of the lemon. So we've got the salt and pepper on there already, and then add your apple slices really thin if you're gonna do them. I don't know if we're gonna do them. That is out of control. Let's say no to that. Daddy-O,
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10.
10,
10.
11.
Wow, it's that good.
It tastes exactly the same.
As the Hell Fresh.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. So that's that for you. Okay, guys, thanks for hanging out with us. Happy eating to you. By the way, I cut up the watermelon that I got from Sam's Club recently, so that's going into our mouth as well, and deliciousness to the next degree. Have an amazing day, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Bye.